Okay, let's dive right in. The world of money, banking, finance, it's going through a massive, massive shakeup right now. And we're not just talking about some new apps on your phone. No, this is a fundamental shift, and it's all being driven by this really fascinating clash between the old guard and some very powerful new challengers. So let's break down who these players are and what this all means for the future of, well, your wallet.
So, if you really want to get a handle on where finance is headed, you've got to know the three main characters in this story. First up, you have the incumbents. Think of your traditional banks. Then there are the giants. We're talking the big tech companies that are muscling into their territory. And finally, you have the innovators, all those startups building new things from the ground up. The way these three groups cooperate, compete, and sometimes collide, that's what's defining the future of money.
All right, let's kick things off with the OGs, right? The established banks and financial institutions. I mean, for decades, they were the ones who set all the rules. But now they're facing this huge choice: either adapt to this new world of disruption or, frankly, risk getting left in the dust. So, what's really lighting a fire under them? Well, for one, they absolutely have to connect with younger, tech savvy generations. Millennials, Gen Z. At the same time, they're always looking for new ways to diversify and grow their revenue, to expand their reach across the globe, and maybe most importantly, to use all this new technology to make their own operations faster, cheaper, and way more efficient. And this is where it gets really interesting. They've got this whole spectrum of options, right? From, well, basically burying their heads in the sand, which is a terrible idea, all the way to a complete top-to-bottom transformation. But look at that call-out box. The winning strategy, more often than not, isn't to just build a bigger fortress. It's to build a bridge. They're cooperating with, buying, or investing in the very fintech companies that are challenging them. And check this out. This diagram just nails why that cooperation is such a game changer. It's not just a win-win, it's a win-win-win. For the financial system as a whole, it helps minimize chaos. For the banks themselves, it means better services for you and me. And for the future, well, it builds a financial world that's both more stable and more innovative. Okay, that's the first piece of the puzzle. Now let's bring in player number two, the big tech giants. You see, when these companies step into finance, they aren't some scrappy startup. They are full-blown global powers, and they're expanding their empires into a new and very, very profitable frontier. And these guys, wow. They show up with two superpowers that are just almost impossible to compete with. First, they already have a massive, built-in global audience and instant brand recognition. Second, they have these incredible economies of scope and scale. Their existing tech gives them this huge cost and value advantage from day one. And their strategy? It's actually pretty simple, but it's this incredibly powerful self-feeding loop. Take a look. Their huge user base generates tons of data. That data gives them insights to create new financial products. Those products then make their whole ecosystem more valuable, which, you guessed it, keeps users there and attracts even more. The whole thing just fuels itself. I mean, this quote just cuts right to the chase, doesn't it? At the end of the day, for big tech, finance isn't some brand new business. It's just another way for them to make money from the enormous amount of information they already have about us. So you see what the end game is here, right? It's all about diversifying their products, expanding their reach so they're part of every transaction, and offering something totally unique. A seamless blend of your financial life and your digital life, all happening inside their ecosystem. And that, of course, brings us to our third and final player in this ecosystem, the innovators. These are the nimble startups, the entrepreneurs with a big vision. They don't have the trust of the old banks or the massive scale of the tech giants. What they have is a big bet on an idea to build the future of finance from scratch. For the most part, you'll see them take one of two big swings. They'll either find a really specific problem for an underserved market and build a perfect niche solution for it, or they come up with a truly innovative concept, a bold new idea that's designed to completely shake things up. But, a great idea is just the starting line. To even get in the race, every single one of these ventures needs these four pillars locked in place. You need the killer idea, sure, but you also need a smart business model to make money, the funding to get it all started, and the actual technology to bring it to life. And this quote, this is such a key piece of insight into the startup world. Seriously. In those early days, getting that crucial funding isn't always about the numbers in a spreadsheet. It's about the story. A powerful vision, the tale of what this thing could become, that's what gets investors to write the check. But here's the thing. Even if you nail all of that, The real gauntlet is just getting started. Success now comes down to execution. You need sharp marketing skills to even get noticed, a unique value that makes you stand out, smart partnerships to help you grow, and this is a huge one, you have to navigate the incredibly complicated world of financial regulations.
All right, so we've met our three main characters, the incumbent, the giant, and the innovator. So what happens when you put them all in the same arena? Well, this is where you can really see the future of finance taking shape, not as some simple battle, but as this complex, constantly evolving system. This table just lays it all out so perfectly. Just look at the differences here. The incumbent's biggest asset? Brand trust and knowing the rules. The giants? All that user data. And the innovators? Their speed and their new ideas. And you can see how their motivations and strategies are completely different too, from just trying to defend what they have to creating something totally new. And that really brings us to the core idea of this whole explainer. This is the big takeaway. The future of finance isn't about one of these players winning and the others losing. No way. It's being written by all three of them together. Their competition and their collaborations are blending the stability of the old banks, the scale of big tech, and the brilliant spark of innovation. And that's what's creating the next generation of finance. So I want to leave you with this question. As these three forces, the incumbents, the giants, and the innovators, keep pushing and pulling, partnering up and competing, just think about it. How is all of this going to change the way you deal with your money every single day? Because this transformation, it's already happening.